Yo, Bricks 5D here. I have some great news right now dropping in the raid community. I wanted to just jump in and share it with you guys. You may have already heard about the Supreme Elhain fusion that is coming up on March the 10th, and you are kind of have this speculation going around that other starter champions, Kael, what's the name now, Galek, and which other one, Athel, will also have their legendary versions. We're always speculating that. So if Elhain is getting a legendary version, those versions are also coming. So in this video, it is confirmed that these versions are dropping the same day as Elhain. So on March the 10th, it's not just Supreme Elhain that will be coming up, but you also have the version of Supreme Kael, you have Supreme Galek, and you also have Supreme Athel, all dropping on March the 10th. Now, before you get all excited and think we will have 4 legendary champions all available through a fusion in that same, they are not all available on a fusion. It's only Supreme Elhain that will be available for us to do a fusion, fragment fusion, and pick her up through blood and sweat and tears. But all the other ones, Kael, Galek, and Athel will all be available only through pulling your void shards. Yes, they are also all void champions. So in this video, since they are going to be launching by March the 10th, I want to take a look at their skills first of all and give you my first impressions of these starter Supreme legendary champions that are all void legendary champions right now. We still have their rare versions and their epic versions. Those ones are not going anywhere. You'll just have this one joining the game. So the question is, void champions, void legendary champions are always crazy in terms of their skills and their abilities and what they bring to your battle. They do crazy things that other affinity champions cannot do. They also have the advantage of not getting a weak hit because they are void. They are not weak to any affinities. That's why void legendaries are special. So you can just think of a few, or Soga the Warcaller, even Blind Seer, even your trusty, what's her name now, the one you get for free, your speed booster that everybody gets. So let's start with the first one. We've already seen Supreme Elhain, so I'm heading over to Athel, Supreme Athel, which is my starter champion when I started playing Rage. I still have her at 60. I don't have the others at 60 as the rare champion, I mean. So I want to find out if her skills will be worth it. I'm trying to make this one not too long, so forgive me if I rush through these skills. First of all, I just want to see out of 4 of them which one is going to be the best one. Now, there is something to say about a champion who is a fusion champion that might not be that solid, but the ones that are not available through a fusion might be the solid ones. So it's possible that one of these 3 will be game changing and better than Supreme Elhain, but there will always be this battle between who is the best starter champion. Currently, Kael is winning that battle. Let's see whether in the legendary version, whether he will still lead that best of 4 among the starters. There is also some noise in the community about this was done just to dilute the pool of void champions that are available right now, so we don't get the big names that we're always looking for, like the Sifis and so on. So let me find out. Let me stop stalling and let's go into this A1. It just hits one time. If there's any enemies under freeze debuff, also attacks them. Okay. So attacks them twice or what? Okay, decreases the enemy's attack by 3% whenever this champion hits an enemy with this skill. Stacks up to 30%. Also increases this champion's attack by 3% whenever they hit an enemy with this skill. Alright, that kind of ramps up his A1, I guess, to do something extra. Why did they have to take away the weakening from that A1 though? We love it on Athel. I still call her a guy. Anyways, because she has a haircut like one, but she's a lady. Alright, on the A2, attacks all enemies. That's the AoE skill right there. We ignore strengthen, ally protection, and unkillable. Alright, I was talking about this champion being the only champion I've seen so far that is ignoring ally protection, right? But right now, they also put the same thing on Athel. She is also now ignoring ally protection and unkillable buffs and strengthen on enemies under a freeze debuff. That's a damn condition. So you have to put freeze on them before you ignore ally protection. That's weird. Why Elhain doesn't have any condition on hers, right? Let's see. Our own is just a single target. Okay, see, our own is a single target, ignore ally protection. Why this one is a AoE, ignore ally protection? Damn. then has a 100% chance of placing freeze debuff for 1 turn. So attacks all enemies will ignore buffs on enemies who are under freeze, then also places freeze on them. How can they get freeze again when they already have a freeze on them? That makes no sense. Correct me if I'm reading this wrong. We ignore strengthening and ally protection and all that, but they have to have a freeze first. So I guess if they don't have a freeze and you just go in there and hit them and all that, they will now have a freeze, because nobody comes into battle with a special champion who will freeze first before Athel can now be useful, I guess. So it makes no sense that way. All right, on the A3, places a 50% increase attack buff, a 30% increase crit rate, and then a shield buff on this champion for 3 turns, then grants an extra turn. All right, that's the old skill that we're used to. The A3 stayed true to its nature, where she just does her buff herself up, then grants an extra turn to go in with the A2 and then nuke. So I guess they made that one still useful that way. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, so you need to kill the enemies, I guess, in that first hit of this A2. So that's a nice one. She stayed true to her abilities, but I'm not saying a weaken anywhere again, but we still have the extra turn right there. 15% chance of placing freeze debuff on attackers for 1 turn when hit while under shield buff. 35% chance of placing freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn whenever a shield buff on this champion is removed by damage. So she should go second then. She should go second, put her in a shield, put her all that. So when she gets hits and all that, then they freeze themselves before she goes in and then nukes. But her damage is based on, based on attack, I guess. Like it should. Because if she's based on defense, that's when she can go second. But if she's based on attack, it might be difficult for her to survive that first nuke. Increase attack in all arena battles by 35%. That's huge. But it's only restricted to the arena. Alright, let me not waste any time and move over to Galek. He's well, the face that Raid likes to use in all their promotions, but let's find out if he will be worth building and using this time around as a legendary champion, void legendary champion. At the end, I'll tell you my final verdict of all of them, who is still ruling out of the 4. On the A1, he hits 2 times. Each hit has a 10% chance of inflicting a critical hit. That's an extra 10% chance right there on the A1. Each hit also has a 40% chance of increasing the duration of any HP burn debuffs on the target. But does it place HP burn? I hope so, because Ultimate Galek does place HP burn, so there's no way this Supreme one shouldn't also maintain that HP burn stuff. So let's find out on the A2. Attacks 4 times at random, places increased attack buff on this champion for 3 turns before attacking. Nice. So now he can buff himself, because on the Ultimate Galek needs that increased attack from somewhere else or from himself before he can do the burn. But he always wastes the burn before even the increased attack is available. So we help him with somebody else. But in this case, Supreme Kael is buffing himself before he can go in there. Each hit has an extra 10% chance of inflicting a critical hit, maintained also in the AoE hit. Easily, attacks 4 times at random is almost an AoE, but he might all go to one enemy and then that's not an AoE. So we can't really call this skill an AoE skill at all. So let's take note of that. This is a void champion that attacks 4 times at random, inflicting a critical hit. Each hit has a 75% chance of instantly activating any HP burn debuffs on the target and decreases the duration. It still doesn't say whether he places this HP burn though. Fills the champion turn meter by 30% for if 3 or more HP burn debuffs is activated during this attack. So he still maintains his spider role, I guess, because this is not a champion I want to bring into something like the Hydra. But let's find out how this HP burn will fall into place. Attacks all enemies, has a 10% chance also of inflicting critical hits. Now I need to inform you that this is a void legendary champion that is reducing his need for crit rate by 10%. That means you need to build him with 90% crit rate. We have champions out there who have on all their skills the ability to reduce their need for crit rate by 25%. So just take note of that. That's why I'm saying if you want to make him actually not need crit rates, reduce it by 10%. He is a void engine, so it should be like 30%, 25%, or stay true to how other champions have been taking less need for crit rate by 25%. I mean, even in the rare category, that 15% I think is what you need less crit rate to build on them. So this 10% is low. That's what I'm trying to say. 10% less needed crit rate is low. So 90% crit rate is what you need. 75% chance of placing HP burn and block, buff, debuff for 2 turns. On a 3-turn cooldown. Also places a 30% decrease speed on all targets whose turn meter is higher than 50%. Why is that condition there? Just place that decrease speed on all targets. Or maybe we'll have HP burn on them. Come on now. That kind of ruins this decrease speed as a valuable way of making sure all the Hydra heads always have decrease speed on them. So this decrease speed might not be needed on this spider links because you need them to take a turn, I guess. But we'll see with the new dungeon coming up, maybe one of these champions or his skills might fall into place with that new hard mode dungeon coming up. For now, we're just checking out if these skills are valuable or useful in the current content we have right now. I don't know how these will fare in the new content, but I just see this like it's going to be useful for the Hydra, because HP burn and block, buff, debuff is extremely useful in that Hydra content to make sure those heads don't, spread buffs around them and all that and steal stuff if you don't have enough resist. So his A3 is the best I like out of all his skills right now. I'm not impressed with anything else, and this is just what I want to be using in the battle. It's also not on a condition that he needs crit rate. You see, so this HP one will learn whether there is crit rate on him or not. So it doesn't have a condition, which is nice. So it also doesn't say he needs increased attack. So this HP bomb will learn whether he have increased attack on him or not. Nice one out there. So 100% right there, HP burn for 2 turns and block debuff buff. No, block buff debuff. Alright, on the passive right here, whenever this champion receives fear through fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, stun, or petrification debuff, instantly removes it, then fully heals this champion and grants him an extra turn. Hydra champion, because place fear on him, he just removes it. But this is on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, if it's even on a 1-turn cooldown, this would have been better. Damn, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. So it will only happen once, and then he just sits there taking the fear from that head. Alright, okay. Inquisitor Shamel still rules that place. And his buff, his aura is increased in all battles, attack in all battles. 33% is good. So he's not an arena champion, obviously. So he's a PvE champion more so. And we'll see how he performs though. Ultimate Galek, looking a little bit more useful than Athel because of all that freeze stuff going around with her. I don't want to deal with freeze. I don't need freeze. But I guess one of the new coming dungeons do need freeze placed on them before you can, get some benefit, I guess. So maybe they are working towards that new hard mode dungeon content. They are trying to build champs now for that content, I guess. Alright. Coming in right there on the last one that we're not going to review right now is Supreme Kael, the current leading champion in the rare category, and also the current leading champion in the epic category. He's also the best epic in terms of all the starter epics. And talking about Dark Kael, now this is Supreme Kael, attacks all enemies on the A1 and AoE A1. Will love to see it. 50% chance of placing weakened debuff for 2 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted, so there is no accuracy needed on the A1. It will land that weaken. 75% chance of the time when you book him, that A1 up. On the A2 AoE again, 75% chance of placing 5% poisons. Hold on. These poisons cannot be resisted. Also increase duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. This effect cannot. Hold up. On a 3-turn cooldown, 3 poisons that cannot be resisted on a 3-turn cooldown, no accuracy needed. Now you see, this is a void legendary champion. Damn, I wish this was the fusion. I'm impressed. 100% chance of placing 3 poisons. Why I'm impressed is because normally when you need to place poisons in Raid Shadow Legends, you do need accuracy. Even when you come in there and you need accuracy, you still have to deal with affinity. Even when you have all the right affinity and all that, and you have the right accuracy, you still need to be an AoE poison dealer, I guess. And where AoE poison works the most is in wave content, I guess. So if you don't need accuracy, well, single target is still the best for what do you call it, for clan boss. But just thinking all the places where this could be useful, especially with the new coming dungeon bosses, where Kael will be tanky enough to land all these poisons and not need accuracy, or build him with enough crit rate and crit damage to still hit hard. So I'll be interested to see how this works out and where we can use this. But I tell you, a poison damage dealer that cannot be resisted is crazy. It's crazy. Definitely still not a PvP content, something still best for PvE, and you go there and explode it and all that stuff. Alright, on the A3, attacks all enemies, places 50% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns, I hope including himself. Well, he doesn't need accuracy, why would he increase his own accuracy? Crazy. Also has a 75% chance of placing decreased resistance, 100% decreased resistance buff on all enemies for 2 turns. Why is he reducing their resistance if he doesn't need accuracy? I guess there are others who needs to land debuffs on them, I guess. So this debuff cannot be resisted. Also, the decreased resistance cannot be resisted. Fills the champion turn meter by 10% for each decreased resistance placed. Also on a 3-turn cooldown. Now, I'll say it again. This is a void legendary champion. Degrade decreases each target, that is the passive, each target's accuracy, crit rate and crit damage by 3% for each poison debuff on them. If there are multiple champions on this team, this skill will only apply once, or only will be activated only by once. Supreme Kael. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So of course, you know, out of the 4 Supreme champions that are currently out right now in Raid, you agree with me that this is the best. Not just because he has AoE going up everywhere, because decreased resistance will be extremely useful. Decreased accuracy will also be extremely useful. So he will be in all battles, or almost all battles, of the new hard mode dungeon that is coming up. Damn. I love it. I love it. So let me know what you think about this champion. Let me just stop it right now. That's my initial review or first impressions of these 4 Supreme champions, or these 3 that are going to be joining Supreme Elhain. Remember, they are not part of the fusion. She is the only one that will be available to be picked up through a fragment fusion, dropping on the March 10th, and they will all be added to the game that day. So you might be able to pull them from void shards. That's the only way to get them. They are not part of the fusion at all, so don't get that mixed up. So I guess there are some other events that are currently dropping or coming up soon that I'm not too interested or crazy about, but I saw it dropping on the Raid official Facebook page, and it's gonna be the one I'm most interested in. Let me take a closer look. Alright, the one I saw right now is the one dropping on March 10th, which is the Fire Knight, that where you can pick up Savage set. 3 times chance, 3x on Savage set, dropping on March 10th, and it's going to be lasting, I think, for 12 hours only, and then it will end March 11th also. So that's the one that I'm most interested in. I'm not interested in all the other sets and everything that is coming up. So I guess that will also let us know that Fire Knight is the way that this is starting, or is it Ice Golem? We'll see the calendar when it comes out. All right, help me hit like in this video if it helps you out, if you enjoy the content. And remember, I drop Raid Shadow Legends content on a daily basis, so make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel to show support, I guess. And yeah, let me know in the comments which of these 4 you prefer, or do you agree with my initial assessment of Kael. We will still need to use these champions, see them in live battle, test them out before we make our final conclusions about them. This is just initial review of their skills and deciding how it is going to work out in the game, or where we can use them. And so far, he's looking like the best. Maybe some of them might have crazy multipliers and then he becomes better than him. I don't know yet, but we'll have to see that in live testing. So let me know in the comments what you think about these champions that are coming up, the Supreme versions, and are they just coming up just to dilute the void shard pool, or do you think they are worth it? Why are they dropping 4 at the same time? Why not drop it 1-1-1 like we thought they would? All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one later.